So thank you everybody for coming to this meeting of the Marketing and Events Committee of the Town Council. The first item of business is to receive apologies for absence.
Councillors Clark, Dunlop, Fadis, Houston, Messon, and Williams. No.
No present.
Okay.
Thank you. Item number 2 is note declaration to members' interests. Does anybody have any interest in disclosure in relation to tonight's agenda? No. Item number 3 is to confirm the signing minutes for the Marketing and Events Committee meeting on the 10th of January. They've been circulated with tonight's agenda. As everybody has sight of those, are there any proposed amendments? If not, those can have to propose a second those.
Second.
Offered.
Item number 4 is public participation. There's no members of the public present. If we have any questions?
None, Chair.
No, thank you very much. Item number 5 is to review the year-to-date financial position for Marketing and Events Committee and business delivery plan progress.
There we go. Brilliant. So you've had the financial report, which shows it's been spent against and progressing okay, but due to few smaller events not happening, there's some underspend there. The year is effectively over, so we're planning for 2023 now in terms of the business delivery plan. There was some significant delivery during the summer, Operation Summer in particular was a big success, and then we moved on to Christmas, and then since then, also had a vacancy for the post. There's been a lot less delivery, understandably, but the planning for the coming year has been very positive.
Does anybody have any questions on the budget state business plan? Thank you. Item number 6 is to consider and inform the committee business delivery plan for next financial year.
What we do at the start of the financial year is we ask council to approve the things we know we're going to do. And each committee gets a couple of opportunities to go through the business delivery plan for the coming year. This is the second one. And the one that's been circulated reflects those discussions and some anticipated projects for delivery. So, for example, the community events and summer programme, there's the summer activity or Operation Summer, Heritage Open Days, International Women's Day, Armed Forces Day, Operation Autumn, Operation Christmas, which effectively is craft and engagement free to access. Funding in place to support activities for Windrush, which community officers is trying to engage with various members of the community to see how that might shape up. And Crew Works 180, providing activities, resources related to crew. Those activities are all in the pipeline ready. Through the rest of it, there's event match funding, some of that associated with providing programming for the new L2. And £5,000 not yet defined, which gives us scope to address it later. We have in there a fund for a strategic event. The committee expressed a clear ambition to bring the crew a large-scale event again. That's not been defined yet, but hopefully our new events manager will help me go through that and help me define what can be delivered. It's a significant sum of money, but it's not nothing for approval there yet. Christmas activities are all as standard, and we'll spend according to profile, noting this is the final year of our Christmas lights contract, so we'll go to market on that and see what we can do to ensure we've got good Christmas lights for the coming years. Any projects, seed funding, there's some seed funding there to promote, it's the 180th anniversary, more heritage steam locomotives associated with the crew coming to the Crew Heritage Centre as part of that celebration. And then there's some aspects of earmark reserves just to make sure that there's the projects that haven't yet been delivered can be delivered.
Thank you very much.
Who is running Armed Forces Day?
That's excellent question, actually. And I hope the new events manager will know immediately.
Remember, we were discussing joining an organisation that provided discounts.
Yeah.
Remember the name, something Wall?
Without walls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read the brochure.
Yes.
But I don't know if we agreed or disagreed or.
You disagreed with it
Yeah.
last time.
How we did. Okay.
Declined the opportunity.
It's done, is it?
Yeah.
I can see how it goes.
Okay, well, that's good. You've reaffirmed a previous decision. That's great.
Sorry, I didn't know we finalised.
For memory, it was a case of if and when we get these opportunities in the future, we'll continue to.
At this time, we have no scope for accessing the value that it presented. And so, although nothing wrong with the scheme, it might not marry with what we're trying to achieve in a couple of years. So that was start.
Just one question from me, was the monster trails have been any data requirements?
No, the moratorium that Manchester has over it, I think, is an absolute. I don't think there's any manoeuvre on there. It's a shame because it'd be really great to see in town. Well, it suits that time of year that you want to see it, and therefore I think it's one of those ones you have to walk away from for now until maybe one day it comes back. It'd be ace to see it around town. I think it'd be great. But I don't think it's deliverable for us at the minute.
Yeah, given that it's been on the agenda for quite a while, obviously when the new council selected, I think that's something to obviously discuss then around the EMR, whether that's moved over to something else, regarding it's been on it's been kind of put in for quite a while, hasn't it? So,
I expect it to be closed off by the providers sometime soon, but it hasn't fully closed off.
not worried. So, consideration to sort on that is just to consider the business of the plan and recommend to council this anticipated associated.
That's why I wrote it that way. Nice, new challenge.
Yeah, all those in favour of
Might propose it first.
propose second that we recommend that to full council.
I propose. I'll say.
Yeah, thank you. All those in favour. Thank you very much. Item number 7 is the Christmas light switch evaluation data.
This is this was actually generated in December by the company that did the research. It was only provided to me relatively recently, so that's why it's come to you now. It provides a picture of the Christmas light switch on event. Challenging time coming out of lockdown, all those sorts of things, but it does clearly demonstrate opportunity for enhancement, improvement, more engagement, making the event more relevant to those who want to come along, that sort of thing. It's a great starting point, and I think we can take some positives from it, but it's just for noting really to be aware that this is starting point for the next Christmas light switch on, see if we can improve on this evaluation.
Is it mostly an analysis of the demographics?
Yeah, there's demographics, there's some aspects of, there is qualitative aspects as well, which indicates there's an opportunity for more features that people can engage with. But realistically, it's a lot of demographic. It could be argued that it's not statistically relevant in the sense it's quite a small reach of people as references, but it gives a start to that. An evaluation does form part of the draft event strategy we'll look at in a bit, and the evaluation is there to see what opportunities to improve on what's been done right, and what opportunities is to improve on the areas that could be enhanced in quite a long way.
I think it gives us some good data certainly to move forward and to consider how this will sort of track in future as well. So to compare sort of year on year. So there is some positive data there as well around why people attended. So yeah, I think that's good, certainly ahead of time. Live switch on for this winter. Thank you very much. Anybody else got any other questions?
It could be leading on to something else actually, stop me if it's irrelevant. So there's a 43% under 16s of those who visited according to the last pass. So there's a lot of young people that we don't know what they want, but I've been around schools recently and young people are very much invested in town. Are we aware of this project that's on YouTube to make an adventure playground of Flag Lane?
I'm aware of it through work, but not massively.
Can I propose that we find out more about that?
You mean the Flag Lane bus
It's
generation?
no, it's an adventure playground. It's by wild
Wild
Conservation,
right.
and it's where the orchard is at the bottom of it, I think.
No, so I don't think so.
Ah,
I think, I may well be wrong though on this, as you go down Flag Lane, you have a block of houses where there's a barber shop. There's then an alleyway that goes through the back of the Delmere house, and then there's a set of woods there.
it's there,
I think it's there.
opposite where the new junction is going to go.
Yes, I think so.
Well, can I propose that we find out a little bit more about it and maybe invite them to come to the next?
No problem.
Thank you.
I'd like to just, point out, page. Overwhelming, numbers for Facebook being the primary reason for attending. So marketing the event through Facebook. Perhaps we can improve that next year. We'll find other ways of reaching people. It doesn't look like many people heard of the event in other ways.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely a sound, isn't it? Social media is so powerful. And what I would say on that is, credit to the comms officer for being able to get that reach, which we've seen obviously over time, the improving on all the social media feeds and using YouTube videos and such, and obviously that's a really good example of the impact that role has. Item number 8 is Operation Summer Evaluation.
Very positive. It's the general summary of that will be it was extremely well received from the cost of living crisis, everyone understands. All these services were delivered free to access around the town, all very positive. The stuff in Queen's Park was very well received, particularly because it was the largest scale of it. But the works in the library, with the work and the library supported did lots of things, and the crafts that were at Christchurch was a really good venue for that. There's some great opportunities to build on that. It was a very successful program. There's a little bit of learning about the least engaged areas. That's nothing wrong with that. You've got to try these out. You know, Leicester Square, because of what it was, didn't draw the most people, and some of the aspects at the Heritage Centre weren't as engaged, but that's not down to error, that's down to trying really hard and putting on quite a big range of things.
Yeah.
So there's opportunity there to build on what can only be considered as a really positive project.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll have any questions related to the?
I would thank the team for getting behind it.
Yeah. So bad for one day of the summer. Quite this.
Item number 9 is to receive a report related to the installation of the Knife Angel Grant.
Yeah, Knife Angel is going to be delivered on through May. It's a national monument to highlight violent crime and to combat its issues and issues around it. It's actually made of 100,000 confiscated or received knives, and it travels the country, and it's coming to Crewe. This is the first ever town or parish council to host it, which is in itself quite new, a learning opportunity. It's supported by the local policing unit, all very positively. They're putting on a lot of program and engagement around it. We've also got funding from an aspect of Cheshire East, and that's been very supportive. It's going to go on Memorial Square, as requested by this committee, and it'll be installed on the 2nd of May, and we'll leave on the 31st of May. There'll be an open event, various events through that month, and it's a really nice partnership project some technical challenges, which we're all learning about how cranes work and things now. But other than that, it's very positive. There's a few things to note along the way of this. It's we've got to insure it, which we are doing with our insurers. We went to market on that, and our insurers come forward with a proposal. The program events is there. We've had to pay out of the funds the deposit, which is refundable anyway, which is fine. The excess is quite challenging, but that's Zurich have done this many times, and that's what we stated as the rules. And so that's report for noting. It's very positive. I've got to say it's been very challenging working, particularly with the region manager. She's done a lot of this. It's going to be great. It's going to be really high profile for the town. It's going to be accessible to all and for lots of different audiences at different times. All very positive.
That's what's right analysis.
I think this is most probably the most discussions I've had with people about anything since I've been on the council, which is a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I've had, I'll call them heated discussions with people. One person turned around and said it shouldn't be on a square, and I said, well, where shall we put it? Queen's Park. Yeah, I said, a lot of people are going to see it there, aren't they? And the situation with him was, you just couldn't get through with him. So in the end, I turned around and said, I'll put your observations to the council. In the whole, once you explain to people why it's there, they walk away and say, okay, yeah, most probably is the right idea. But I'll tell you what, there's so many people, what are you always doing there? And once you explain it all to them, as best as I can, I think most of them go away like, oh. But the gentleman who wanted it in Queen's Park, I'm sorry, I just couldn't get through it.
That's fair. There are a number of options for where it can go, and there are also some constraints. So it has to go somewhere visible and accessible 24 hours a day. That's the rule. So Queen's Park isn't.
Yeah.
Not very visible, but it would be a nice setting. I'm not arguing that. It could have gone in Christchurch Courtyard. The issue there with the load is technicality of lifting it into the space, and it's not very visible, even though it is technically visible 24 hours a day. It's town centre, it could be also classed that way. Our members, as I recall, felt that Memorial Square was the Lyceum Square is shut currently and will be shut for part, not most of May. And Market Square has loading issues because it's got a big water tank underneath it, so it can't go on there. So that left Memorial Square, which is the most visible location. It is quite expansive, so there is room to put it in a non-obstructive way, with consideration sensitivity to the war memorial there, and it's entirely accessible. So that's the thinking of it. It is also a memorial square, so this is a national memorial on that basis. So it was felt out of the options, the most sensible option. I think members made the right decision, and we have engaged with the Royal British Legion, considering the sensitive location, and they have mixed views. It's going to be that way, and everyone's entitled to their view. But it will be engaged with across the 80s, across the areas of beauty. So there is no perfect location. That's the best option available. I think it's going to work out.
But what it is, what's the word? Trying to achieve, I think is the best way I can put it. I think it is in the best place, because you've got the memorial right behind it, or alongside it. I can't even remember where it's going now.
If you got your back to municipal building, obviously the Memorial's Bank Central, on far back side, then it will go to the edge towards Hill Street roundabout.
Right.
So it'll go off to the side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As I say, I had a feeling it was going in front of the memorial square.
I think we want to find it its own space for all those reasons, but equally we wouldn't want to obstruct the memorial.
No, I appreciate that. But as I say, as I had said to someone, I said, to me, I said, it's in the right place because it's a memorial to people that have been killed with knives. I said, most probably people don't see it like that, but I said, I think it's fantastic. And the fact that we've got it, I said, it's even better. So,
I was having a similar conversation with somebody recently, about why it's there, and the fact that actually it is in keeping with the rest of the square. I've just had to Google it to remind myself the technical name of it is the National Monument Against Violence and Aggression. This isn't a tourist attraction, it's an educational piece, in memorial of the people that violence. So,
And how it's saved lives. If all these knives have been donated,
yeah.
they've not been used. They'll
How many, did you say
100,000.
100,000 knives that aren't on the street anymore? Yeah, it's-
And the police will be operating an amnesty as they do in all these settings when it visits town. So each time it lands somewhere, it generates further engaging people handing over things they probably shouldn't be holding, which is a positive thing. And it does create a conversation about what violent crime, the impact it can have on individuals as well as families and communities. There's a broad reach. It's educating kids to understand that this is an issue to be aware of and stay away from it. And it just is a moment to think as well about those who have been affected. There's lots of different aspects.
I've sadly taught children in the area.
Well, I was brought up in an area where knives, flick knives it used to be when I was younger, tents, rockers, whatever mods, they all used to carry them. I'm pleased to say I never did. I used to be able to run in them days, but 100,000 knives not on the street, I think is fantastic. And as you say, even more, hopefully. If that means more, then that's even better. I just hope they don't put them on that thing.
No.
If they put any more on it, we won't be able to move.
No, that's a fixed object now. They're taking away what the police do with all that.
And melting down, though.
Can I just add on the 25th of March, there is a conference at South Church College run by the Women's Peace and Security Organisation. And that would be a good place to advertise it coming. If we had a flyer or something that I can give out with a
I'm sure we can. When is that, sorry?
10th of March. It's usually PCC usually works up, so if he knows about it, he might. But the police was there as well. It'd be good to show that we're supporting.
Okay.
Might I ask about the visible input from members and how that might be limited due to the local election period?
Yeah.
Oh, good question.
That is an excellent question. So, there can be no significant representation in photographs of people standing for election. So that's understandable. There can be civic representations on there, can be present. So that's fine. Then equally, there's an operational issue in the first part of May, in the sense of the elections will take place on the Thursday, the count won't happen until the Sunday after that, or won't be able to actually contact any members who have been elected until after we receive that count information in the second week of May. So there's a period, there's also almost a fallow period by default due to when the election sits. So that's that. But after the election, members, as represented in the town council, will be invited to take part in activities or attend the sort of thing. But the night voting can be used photos prior to the. But it's a very small period, so it lands on the 2nd of May. Elections are on the 4th.
Yeah.
Any further questions from Mr. Martin? No. Item number 10 is the Cruise Town Council event strategy.
Okay, at the general meeting, we came to discussions about what direction you wanted the strategy to go, and how you felt about it, and all that sort of thing. We've been looking for a strategy for a while. And so what's been drafted, and it was circulated, and you have, I think, version 2 or 3, I can't remember now. Doesn't say, there we are. And this one. Sorry. So it's as circulated, so the chair outside sides of it and informed it quite a lot. The council also has had sight of it, officers have had sight of it. It provides a background strategy for any delivery plans. It gives an idea of areas of work we might want to see. You mentioned particularly live music aspects. I've been working on engaging with various different people in the town to find out if we're doing that. We're talking to other operators and think activity people that are going on in the town, see what else we can add to it. And that's building quite nicely. I think the events manager will work to take forward. With some prep.
Has anybody sat with this previously, or just a couple of minutes, just refresh
It
yourselves?
was on the email that came to us. Was it? Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to get my computer to work.
In colour.
I think we could argue it might be user error now. Can't
Everyone.
We're saying about the new appointment now.
Yeah, sure. The new events manager starts on the 27th of March, so they'll be coming in. How long? Somewhere in that 2 weeks, right? 2 and a bit weeks away.
Yeah.
So they'll be, yeah, they'll be starting then. We've done our best to have a small program of work carrying forward, so they've got something to then lift up to high standard. Some of those events have been listed in the business delivery plan, but there's also space to add to that as well, and that's business delivery plan. The event strategy just gives that little bit of background structure to say this is the sort of direction we're aiming in, this is why we're aiming that way, and then it also represents there will be a it's very thick paper. I'm sorry, Councillor White.
Was that what it is?
I printed on the wrong paper.
Yeah, should have got
Very
a
nice.
It shouldn't be very nice. It's just I didn't check the paper tray before I sent it to print. So it's not as thick as you think. It's not as thick as you think. So that's the purpose of this. The council sorted the event strategy for a little bit of time, so we're here for everyone, hopefully. Brilliant.
Nice picture of Mrs. Councillor White, just noticed. Yeah. This paper, by the way.
We do have all consents associated with the images in place.
Yes. I did just, Chair, for you, I did I was invited via Town Council to speak to the 18th Southwest Cubs at their Mortlake place about the history of the town and stuff like that. And so I got a bit myself, but they've actually bought them. I gave them, this was printed out just the town logo on it, and they gave a design about what the town wants to be. So I'll rationalise them and I'll send them there. But yes, that's why that paper is very good, because they can draw.
It's probably why it's in the printer tray.
Oh, it's
Yeah, and I'm hoping personally that we could build a few relationships in terms of sponsorship as well.
Yes, it does reference it in there, so there should be some more sponsorship going on.
We have discussed in the past the potential of Crew Alex and their stadium, their ground. Perhaps I still think it would be a fantastic venue for an event or events. Perhaps we can reach out and try to build something.
I'm sure we can.
And on that subject, I'm very exercised. We need to get events into New Square, because with all this money going into it and the clothes shed project being put on hold by the town board, we need to get things happening on that square. The
No, I see it.
the project for the second shed.
Oh, yes,
That's
sorry.
up there, yeah. So it'd be good to have some stuff going on in that square.
I thought I heard that Cheshire is asking the government if they can stop using the money in Lyceum Square to use it on other things.
No. Oh, right, sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, there was a project called the Lyceum Powerhouse, which was supposed to be a live music venue of the building in the northern shed, as we started calling it. And that project got shelved effectively due to escalating costs and delivering the timescale, all that sort of thing. And so that was part of the strategic package of projects within the TIP, the Town Investment Plan. And of those 10 projects, that project in and of itself got shelved and its money then diverted into the other projects as the cost estimate. So it's the powerhouse estimate. LY2 was a pilot one, pilot's not fair, almost like a pathfinder project of that one, which is now being delivered in Lyceum Square. Cheshire is delivering a multi-use public space for events and which has a sort of stage area.
There is a
stage area, but set to the powerhouse of it.
There's a gentleman, I call him a keyboard warrior. He knows anything and everything and nothing.
Well, let's hope we don't name him, thank you.
No, I'm not going to name him, but I know him very well, unfortunately. And he's one of these people that he'll be very nice to you when he's talking to your face, and he'll not be very nice to you when he's on a keyboard. So,
Well,
So information that might be useful. The timing of it isn't so bad because now that the Crosbill's back in action, that's really the venue that would have, because it would be unfortunate if we introduced another venue just as the Crosbill's getting up, because they need all, you know, they've only got support. And the big 850 seat venue at the campus, the old MMU campus, it looks like that is going ahead, even though it's been delayed now. It was supposed to be up in May, now it's going to be something. So it's not all bad, because we would have actually been introducing artificial competition for existing projects. So it's not bad. Out of the 10 projects, that's the one that I was least sad to see.
there we go.
yeah.
Do we need to resolve anything?
So if you're happy with that strategy, it's for council to adopt, so you have to recommend it to council.
Yeah, I'm just happy to recommend
Yeah,
that.
I'll propose it.
Yeah, those at the second that. Yeah, all those in favour?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 11 is social media and communications engagement.
Well, that's the communications officer. We continue to work very hard. We have far more engagement and high standard of communications than before she joined us. And those two monthly reports give you the overviews of those 2 months, January and February.
112 increase, 112% on Facebook.
Yeah, it's all seasonal, remember, because then that doesn't pan through to February very well. But,
Just pick and choose, right?
yeah, so there's stuff, more stuff about happening in New Year's and all that sort of thing. There's lots of things that she's listed that was going on. February a bit of a quieter month for activities and so less engaging, but it's always on a positive upward trend, not always with the same volume of increase each month on month. So measure that as it continues to be more and more engaged. We must always remember the social media stats are very important. They are significant, if not primary, communications method these days. But that we should always remember that the traditional methods exist. And it could be on council wide is boxes of leaflets that will go out in backdrops to schools associated with different activities. So the Easter activities that we're going to be putting on in the market centre with Creative Crew, as well as the coronation activities and the night activities. So we do still use traditional media. We mustn't get obsessed with this, but we must recognise it is the primary communication source, and it is going to be a greater and greater percentage of that as time goes by, because that's engaged. But people still, for the time being, if not for a long time, still want paper media and visual media and feel as well. So we're not going to get away.
Can I ask about, because I work in publications, do we use QR codes effectively? Do we have
effectively a bit objective?
Do we have the ability to generate them?
Yeah, in general, we have used them. So the last time we used a QR code was for the consultation we ran on what is Frank Webb Avenue Park, known as Lane Park, was in Crewe. And it had a QR code on, so that people passing it could QR code and put it and inform the activities and facilities that are going to be investing in that space. So we do use them for consultation and engagement. When you know, I don't know what the uses you might have in mind, but we can use them, but they're not significant aspect.
It's just I think it's fantastic if we do print any materials that we can have a QR link to our Facebook page or to our website.
Yes, is wrong with that?
Do you know what QR code?
Queen's regulations.
Yeah, it is, the Queen's
He knows
regulations
this
for
off by
digital
heart, don't you,
occasions.
Dennis?
It's just it's like a very pixelated barcode.
I realise what it is, don't ask me how to use
It
it,
then automatically links whatever digital device you use,
yeah.
using on it to your piece of
Being in
information.
the forces, QRs for Queen's regulations, end of story, there was nothing else.
There we are.
In my day,
Yeah. Chaos now, isn't it?
yeah, well, that's right, yeah. King's regulation, yeah.
Nobody tells me anything.
One of the things that I've been toying with the idea of with a couple of other organisations is we've got a lot of talent in Crewe and like a talent show. It shouldn't cost us a fortune because you ask people, would you like to come along? And obviously you'd have to have a team who would be willing to listen. Because, you know, I mean, I've heard people tell jokes before and they couldn't tell the time. But I think it would be a fantastic idea. That's my view. But is there any way that we as a marketing and events organisation could try to do something like that?
That's exactly what members are supposed to inform the process. Last time we discussed this, there was ideas about the bands, which is in discussing various different aspects. A talent contest or a talent show, whatever you want to call it, could be part of that. I've never run one, so don't ask me, but we do have a talented new person starting, so it's the sort of task we can find out.
A few years ago, there was a young girl, I can never remember it, I'm thousand of names anyway, but I could, and she was singing in one of the shops. And no, don't ask me which one. One of the coffee shops. And she was really good. I do know a little bit about music because I've played records, but I thought, you know, this girl can go far. And I've never heard of her since. Never heard nothing about her. And I often thought to myself, I wonder if we'd have had a talent show, if she'd have come along, whether or not she could have made it. Because we've had a couple of bands, haven't we? We had Dario G, come from Crewe. Don't know them?
My ignorance is well known, I apologise.
Don't you worry. No, if you're not into music, then I mean,
am.
it was Dario Grady, and they called themselves Dario G. And there was another group that got into the charts, and the life of me, it's gone right out of my head now. So if anybody knows who it is, let me know. But there was a couple of groups from Crewe or the Crewe area that got into the charts, and I really do believe that there's a lot of talent out there.
Well, yesterday there was an event in Sandbach for young musicians.
Was it?
My stepdaughter participated, she's 6, on the drums. So there are organisations locally, I think,
Yeah.
that do host these types of events.
So they have held similar things on a small scale in the market. There's no, again, not necessarily young people, but there's an open mic night at Tom's Tap, the brewery on Tom Street, at least once a month.
It's the first I've ever heard of it.
Yeah, the brewery.
No.
Oh, yeah.
They advertise on QR codes, right?
but yeah, there are these small
We're
scale
being
things.
recorded, so.
From personal experience, it's getting people together in one place at times convenient is one of the biggest barriers.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of open mic nights myself, and it's something you do in a space that you're comfortable with people that you're comfortable with. And it's not necessarily something that lots of young people particularly want to do in terms of their first step into entertainment, because it's nerve-wracking as heck playing in front of people, especially those who don't know. But yeah, I think it's certainly something that we should be looking at. There used to be a lot of inter-school competitions on various things, I guess over the years. They've kind of stopped, but certainly reduced a bit. So we've got to talk about things. That's all right.
So yeah, so we're on that very subject, Dennis. We're running the youth debate competition on the 19th of April with Municipal Building. Councillor Clark's very much involved in that. And I think that it's a really good point, because there is a talent drain out of the town, simply because anybody with any kind of talent, there's not the platform for it. Yes, you have to go to London and Manchester, so we went to the Bodyguard in Stoke, with a crew resident in that, and that's the National West End touring collection. And you see, young crew people doing, playing on the national stage. But we need to find out that sweet spot of helping them get started and nurturing that talent and giving them a venue to come back and share that again. Because if you want to go and see some of these kids, you're paying £60 for a ticket and a trip to London. Whereas if you keep them in the town, it would be a really virtuous circle.
If maybe we could do some form of charity and ask people to come and perform it. I don't know, it's just ideas. I would like it put on agenda for the future. So we can.
Yeah, it's always on the agenda of this committee, it's all fine, you've got good ideas, charity night, talent night, it's all in the mix. I can offer you no answers tonight,
I don't want you to.
but it's nothing wrong with
So whoever's on the committee, we don't know who's going to be on it.
Could I suggest that when the committee is kind of put forward after May, that you come together as a group and just discuss the ideas for events that you'd like to see in the town, how that can be moved forward. If you've got a 4-year period where you can put that in place, actually, there needs to be a process where right, this is the events we're going to try and get going next year. Hopefully that will then build and run itself for you afterwards, which gives the officer time to start with new events.
Wouldn't it be great if we did something like this in 3 or 4 years over the top of the pops? Literally, I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I think we need to build relationships with venues, but also perhaps schools, not public schools, but music schools, dance schools.
Oh yeah.
We need to bring these all together because they're around.
I really do believe, as I say, a mate of mine, and I have got one. His son, he plays guitar, he plays saxophone, and he was asked to join a group, and they were performing in Stoke. And I heard a recording of it, and I honestly thought, I said, "Who's that?" And he said, "Who do you think it is?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "Pretty good." And then he turned around and said, "It's Ben." Who? I couldn't believe it. Really good. And that's in the back of my mind, it's been there ever since.
Yeah, I'm originally from North Wales, and I've got friends, musical friends, who have formed bands and sadly fell apart because there's nowhere to play.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
It's a shame. My friend is a fantastic drummer, and his band broke up last year because there's only 1 or 2 places within 50 miles.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all.
We are relatively blessed in Crewe because we do have spaces that they're perhaps not dedicated music venues, but they're spaces that can be used. We've got the Crossroads, we've got the Lyceum Square, we've got the Acoustic Hall, the Market Hall. We've got places, again, just mentioning Tom's Tap again, we've got places that have got small stages and things where people can actually kind of perform. I suppose it's looking at what can we do to nurture that talent. Obviously, we're not a record label, we're not a venue owner, but actually, is that something that we can offer a little bit of assistance with organising an event where people can showcase when we have Crewe's Got Talent or that kind of thing?
The thing is, in my mind, it's something that we can put on at no great cost. It shouldn't cost us an absolute fortune. Because basically all you need to go on all. Everyone's going to bring their own equipment.
So has anybody watched the piano on Channel 4 recently? So that is basically it's a celebration of the community pianos, like the one that we've got in the Market Hall. And basically they took pianos to 4 train stations around the country.
Yes.
Invited local people to
Dr.
feel good.
Go to start a joke, Dr.
Dr. Kane. I can't see it on YouTube. There's a piano in one of the London stations, and people come along, and he walks up behind them when they're playing. I don't know whether anybody likes boogie woogie, but I love it. And there's one person was playing a bit of classical stuff, and he went up and listened. He said, "Very good. Have you ever tried this?" And I turned the classical piece that she was playing into boogie woogie in a matter of, well, literally seconds. He just said, "Well, try this." And she started playing it, and he started playing all the other bits of it. It was brilliant. And she said afterwards, she said, "Never thought that." She was fantastic. But they have other people, and they often get a crowd around them. But as I say, whenever I can find it on YouTube, I'm looking at it. And that's something, yeah, piano is.
There's one on platform 5 in the quiet on the cross station.
Piano is quite.
And it's not.
It's got no strings.
It's a silent piano, yeah. I can play that.
But yeah, I suppose it's that sort of thing that we've actually, how can we, because again, organising, open mic night in a good charity or something like that. It's not going to be the most difficult event to organise, it's relatively low cost, it's a feeling of event where people want to showcase their talents. It's the public good as well.
And it helps business.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
It's all written down.
Thank you very much.
No challenge at all from me.
Anybody else, anything?
so me and you are going upstairs.
Thank you very much for attending then. The date of the next meeting is Monday the 12th of June, 6 p.m.
On the last note, let's thank the chair for his service to this
Yeah.
committee. He's not standing for election, so this is his last meeting. As chair for our Good Market Events Committee.
I regret that decision. I think you should stand for election.
Okay, not a discussion for the committee, I'm afraid, but I think we should still thank the chair
Yeah.
for service as chair of this
Well,
committee and the
Thanks,
council.
Joe. Well done.
Well done.
Sterling work.